Don't think that all these moms out here are super moms. We all are super moms.
Yeah.
No matter
Just
how
listen
we
to
go
your body.
through it. Yeah, no matter how we go through it. So after the epidural, I think I was sleeping pretty hard, and a nurse came in and said she was going to reposition me to try to get the baby to fall down. So she wanted me on my hands and knees on the bed, which was a trick because my legs were numb. And when I got up on my hands and knees, after each contraction, she would take, I think it was a blanket or a pillow, and shake my hips. And it was called shaking the apples. And she did that for, it was like 20 minutes or so. And I think I went to a 6.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think I went to a 6 dilation-wise. And then my night nurse, Claire, told me that people go from a 6 to a 10 really quickly. So I was hoping for that situation. Claire came in later and put me on my side with the peanut pillow, and she put it in between my legs, but then my leg that's on top was in the stirrup, so it was kind of like leaning over the side of the bed. And I was in that position for like 30 minutes, and then I switched to the other side for 30 minutes. And then I went back to the other side for another 30, and then it was shift change. So the same day nurse, Kayla, came back in, and she decided, she was like, we're going to put you in another position, and we're going to get this baby out. I'm like, let's do it, girl. let's roll. So she put me in the reverse cowgirl.
Not that reverse cowgirl.
Yeah. And it was the peanut ball, exercise ball, in between my ankles. But then you had to kind of curve your back and make a C shape and push your ankles back in the bed. It was very uncomfortable. But after I did that for 30 minutes on my left side, I was at 9.5 centimeters. So it
Finally
worked. It worked.
Finally there.
So she put me on my right side for 30 minutes and then said we'd be ready to push after that. And it was the longest 30 minutes of my life because the position's uncomfortable. You're just ready to lay on your back. And the pressure of the baby was there, and I knew it was time to push, and I was just ready to be done and, like, get her out.
Yeah, she was like Rachel in Friends. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out, get out, get out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, I was like that at 36 weeks, I think.
That's true.
So, after the 30 minutes were up, she came in, and, we were pushing. We got the bed up and stirrups up, and we were ready to push, so I pushed for a total, I think, for 30 minutes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
30, 45, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and I will say the nurses do a lot of the work. A good chunk of the work.
Yeah, Kayla was there for the most part. Doc snuck in at the end, took the credit.
Yeah, she got me, like, I pushed with her for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And she just guided the baby's head to where it needed to be, just to make sure that, the least amount of tearing happened, I think. And then she called the doc, and the doc came running down the hall, and she was getting ready to, put on her gloves and everything, and Kayla was going to have me go ahead and push another time. And the doctor said, wait, while I was pushing, and said, stop, we're too close and I'm not ready. So I had to stop pushing, which is uncomfortable, but it is what it is. And after that, I think it took 2 more pushes, and bam, the baby was there.
Yeah, and for all the guys, boyfriends, fathers, whoever you are, watch your baby be born. Because I was a little...
If you can handle it.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant to watch because I wasn't sure if I was going to be tough enough to handle it, I guess you could say. But after the first kind of glance down there, it was like my eyes were glued. I mean, that was my kid coming out of there, and it was an experience that I wouldn't get rid of.
Yeah.
So if you can handle it, if you've got the stomach for it, and you're with your girlfriend or wife or whomever in the delivery room, watch your kid get born.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a great experience.
Yeah, it's cool. So, yeah, so she was born, and she cried, I think, for maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah,
and then
like
she
that.
stopped. It was crazy. Like, I feel like babies should cry more than that.
Yeah.
And they put her right on my chest, which was so cool. And you just start bawling your eyes out. Like, all the emotions from the whole 24-hour period of, getting induced and going through everything, and you're just exhausted and tired. And
Courtney will be the first person to tell you that I'm not a big crier.
Yeah.
I didn't even cry on our wedding day. Sorry. But once she came out, it all came flooding out.
Yeah, it's just so emotional. It's 9 months of emotions that you didn't even know were in there.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I saw her head come out. I turned to her to let her know that the head was out, just so I could kind of, be like, oh, hey, the head's out. I turned back. The doc already had her out. Yeah. I mean, it was that quick.
Yeah, it was cool. And then the placenta, you really don't even feel coming out either. I think I felt like a relief of pressure.
Yeah.
Really, because everything just, deflated.
Yeah.
And came out. And I think she said I had a small 1-degree tear, and I didn't even feel her sew me up. So the epidural was definitely working.
It did its job.
It was awesome. And they came in, they asked me if they could take her to weigh her. And I told them, yeah. I know a lot of moms wait and want to spend that time. And I think that's amazing. I figured they're going to take her anyway eventually, so just go ahead and take her.
Might as well.
And they did the ointment in her eyes and weighed her. She was 7 pounds 6 ounces and 20 1/4 inches long, and just perfect.
Yep.
She was awesome. And then we had everybody kind of leave the room, and we had just mom, dad, and baby time, and that was really cool.
Yeah, we both did the skin to skin.
Yeah,
which,
I highly recommend that.
Which was kind of strange at first because she was covered in this white stuff. Do you remember what it was called?
Vernix?
Yeah, something like that.
Cheese,
it was baby cheese is what they said. It absorbs into their skin, makes their skin soft, and it was kind of gross looking, I'll admit. But even with all that stuff on her, having her on my bare chest was a great bonding experience.
Well,
I
and
think,
she was just so
us.
chill. She was like she just knew.
She was super chill.
Yeah, and she was so relaxed. It was perfect.
Yeah.
So we had just a mommy, daddy, baby time, and I had the pregnancy shakes really bad. Yeah. So I was able to kind of sleep them off and come down from it. And then we let our cheer squad in. They were my cheerleaders from the whole time. I think my mom and dad had been there a couple hours after we got there and got admitted. And my sister and best friend came up shortly. It was 3 or 4 o'clock that day before. And my Mima.
Yeah.
And they all stayed the night and waited and in the waiting room, slept in the waiting room. And luckily, because COVID restrictions were lifted at this hospital, that they were allowed to be in there 24 hours. I was allowed to have whoever I wanted in the birthing suite, which was just my mom and my husband, obviously. But it was cool to have everybody there.
Yeah, and then my dad and my stepmom ended up coming up to the hospital maybe an hour before our daughter was born, and
then my brother came up later.
Yeah, his work wouldn't let him out, so he wasn't there for the actual birth or when we revealed her name, because we had called everybody into the room.
We kept her name a secret, which was kind of fun because we told the gender, but we wanted to make sure that there was some kind of secrecy left for just the two of us.
Yeah, because our gender reveal was dope. Lightsabers at Disney in front of the Millennium Falcon, but we still wanted to keep some secrecy.
Yeah, so we kept the name a secret, and she's named after my mom. They all share the same middle name, so that was something that I wanted to keep a secret until the birth and then reveal to them.
Yeah, it was a really sweet moment.
They were very shocked, so it was cute.
Yeah.
And I would do it again. It was hard to keep the name a secret. I think there were times where I was ready to tell, but it was worth it.
Yeah, and it was really hard. It almost slipped out a couple times, but we had a little nickname that her sister came up with that we used for the most part, so it was a little easier.
Yeah, and it worked out. And then, so everybody came in and met her, and that was really fun. And then the nurse came in to press on my tummy, and I just had a lot of bleeding happening. And as a first-time mom and a first-time person who's gone through labor and delivery, I had no idea that this was, abnormal.
Yeah.
I thought it was just normal that, clots were coming out. That was just a part of postpartum.
Lord knows I didn't know anything.
Yeah, and apparently it was not.